Wow. Wow. Hello friends, family, and everyone in between. My name is Kayla Networks and this is my very random YouTube channel. Of course, my dogs are going to be making noise. Piper just started eating, even though it's like 1:30. Honestly, I can't see my clock because I didn't put in my contacts. So like right now, everything just looks like a big blur, which is probably good because if you haven't noticed, I got my hair cut. And I'm still kind of like, I'm not sure if I like it or not. Sometimes from some angles, I'm like, okay, it's cute. And then others, like, I feel like, can I speak to your manager type looking ass? So, yeah. Let me know what you guys think of this haircut. Is it cute? Is it not? Should I grow my hair back out and leave it long? I probably won't. But I'm just curious to see what y'all think. Short or long? Which one's better? In one of my previous videos, whenever I uploaded that, I talked about TV shows my mom made me watch growing up, and yeah, my mom felt attacked. No, she really didn't. She took it very well, because it's not like I said anything bad, and all the shows I mentioned were bops anyway. So if anything, it was a huge compliment, because I'm saying she has great taste in TV shows. So anyway, if you want to check that out, go ahead and check that out. But today we're going to talk about my other parent. We're going to talk about my dad. Now my dad, this is a totally different story. My parents had me when they were really young, so maybe this is my excuse for him letting me watch these kind of movies. Because when I tell you I was watching all kinds of silly ass movies, like movies that like they were making references to stuff that my 5-year-old self had no clue what they were talking about, but I loved it anyway, and me and my dad would just watch these movies. And I remember going to the, did we go to the movie? Oh, we did go to the movie theaters to see some of these movies when I was young. And so today I am going to single out my dad and tell you about the different types of movies my dad let me watch growing up. So the first movie, literally when I was just like writing the name of the movie, I was cracking myself up just by how many dumb things happened in this movie and references I completely forgot about until I was like thinking about it. The first movie is Kung Pao Enter the Fist, and this movie came out in 2002. For y'all that probably are like, I don't remember that name, I don't know that movie, think about the one girl that goes wee wee wee. You disgust me. That's the movie. And like, oh my gosh, that movie was so stupid. Oh my gosh. I know it was like a spoof or some stuff like that, and they were like, they had like the voiceovers because they were trying to make it like, man, I can't imagine that movie trying to come out like nowadays. People would be so angry. Oh my gosh, I honestly don't think a movie like that could come out today. I don't think it could, because it was bad. They made so many like jokes that were borderline offensive. I say borderline, but no, some of these jokes were straight up offensive. But I'm not gonna lie, it was a hilarious movie. I remember, like, didn't he have like a tongue with like his own little mouth or something like that, and he used to like talk or something? This movie came out in 2002, so that put me about 6-7 years old, and I can almost put money on it that we went to the movie theaters to see this. I'm almost certain we went to the movie theaters to see this, because that's something that my dad and I used to do all the time. We went to the movies, we watched a bunch of spoofs. Like, spoofs were our thing. And my stepmom, when she came into my life, she did not understand why we watched these dumb movies. But that was like mine and my dad's thing, watching spoofs. So like Kung Pao was like one of those movies that was super hilarious, and me and my husband still like quote the crying girl. We go wee wee wee. I need to rewatch that movie. I remember, like I said, I remember different clips and different scenes. Like I remember, like, didn't he like kick a cow and it went flying or something like that? If you guys haven't seen Kung Pao, you need to watch it. It's hilarious. The second movie that I'm mentioning is actually like a series of movies, but instead of talking about one of them, I'm going to talk about all of them, because me and my dad watched all of them together, except I think Scary Movie 4 or 5 we didn't watch together, but the other ones we did, you know, the good ones. Piper? Hey, Grandpa. Hey, Grandpa Patrick. And the movie I'm talking about is Scary Movie, like the series, the Scary Movie series. And the first one came out in 2000. which again put me at about 4 or 5 years old. And I do remember watching these when they were still like relevant and still new and stuff like that. So I had to be young. But my favorite was Scary Movie 2 when they went to the haunted house. Side note, I didn't realize this until I was looking it up. The reason why Scary Movie, the first one and the second one, are my favorite, and I think the rest of them are trash. One, because the Waynesboros, the two main guys, the one that played, was it Shorty, and what's his face? The one that's like secretly gay. We all know he is.
Yo.
What's up?
They weren't in the movies anymore. After the first one and the second one, they weren't in the franchise anymore. But also, secondly, their brother, is it Keenan? I'm terrible at names. But the one that's from My Wife and Kids, he directed the first one and the second one. I did not know that. Like I said in one of my previous videos, the Wayans family. Oh my gosh, Leo, you okay? The Wayans family is super talented. All of them are super talented. So I'm honestly not surprised that he directed the first two movies and the reason why they're so bomb. But anyway, yeah, the Scary Movie franchise, everyone my age, I'm pretty sure, watched one, if not all of these movies, especially the second one. The second one was people's like favorite, and it was mine. And I think one of the reasons why the second one was my favorite was because of that freaking parrot.
I'm not little. I'm hung like a bull, lady.
What Polly say to me?
I said, Polly wants your mama's sweet ass.
Oh my gosh, these movies, like, screw the rest of them, but the first and second one were hilarious. And yes, I definitely remember watching them with my dad when I was before even the age of 10, when I didn't get all these references, and then I watched them back as an adult, and I'm like for instance, the one scene that they used to cut out when they showed it on cable in Scary Movie 2, when Sydney and Homeboy are locked in that little freezer container, it's like, you need to warm me up.
Oh, buddy, I don't
Cindy,
think
please. It's a matter of life and death.
That happens. When I was little, I didn't understand what happened, but I remember laughing like I understood. And now that I'm adult, I'm like, wow. Wow. The third movie is another franchise that I know a lot of people watch. Even if you didn't watch it when it was like first out and everything like that, I know you watched it because VH1 for sure, and I think MTV too, used to show this movie and all the movies all the time. And the franchise I'm talking about is the Austin Powers franchise. Now the first one, I know I did not watch the first one when it first came out because it came out in 1997.
Piper, leave me alone.
Austin Powers, he was a man of love and consent and just like respect for women. And you know what? I'm all here for that. So let's come, I want another Austin Powers movie if that can be in the works somehow. And Piper has joined us again. I remember me and my dad watching these Austin Powers movies together all the time. And I think one of his favorite characters that he used to quote and make fun of all the time was Fat Bastard.
Oh, my titties!
He loved Fat Bastard, which, I mean, if you know my dad, it makes sense that he would cling on to that character. I wonder though, I haven't asked my mom if my mom knew that my dad was letting me watch these movies and that we watched them together and we thought they were hilarious. I wonder, did my mom know? Did she even care? She probably didn't. She probably didn't. Now, the three other movies I mentioned were spoofs. This one is not a spoof. Though I could see if this movie came out nowadays how it could be so scarier. I haven't watched it in a long time, but I remember when it did come out, I was terrified. So the movie I'm talking about is White Noise, and this movie came out in 2005. Yes, it came out in 2005. And White Noise, if you like, the name doesn't remind you of what the movie is, it's literally about the like TV and the white noise, and like you can hear like spirits and demons through the white noise. That movie traumatized me. I'm not even gonna lie, that movie was so scary because, oh my gosh, because I remember in my bedroom, like, first off, I hated sleeping in the bed by myself. I'm not even gonna tell you how old I was when I finally got out my mama's bed. 2, we had like the big like box televisions, the one with the booty in the back. We had those big TVs, and I remember just like sometime throughout the night, like my TV would go staticky and it would have that white noise, and that terrified me because I'm like,
There may be a demon in my TV. And what am I gonna do?
I'm like 10, 11 years old. There's nothing I can do. But yes, aside from watching spoofs and stuff, my dad let me watch a lot of scary movies, which is probably why I love scary movies nowadays. Which, I mean, my poor husband, he hates scary movies and I love them. I live for scary movies. I want to go into film and get into the film industry and do all that stuff. And the type of movies that I really, really want to do are scary movies. Like, and not even like the corny little scary movies like The Bye Bye Man. Hated that movie. But like legit scary movies, like good quality, like the Conjuring type scary movies. But yes, White Noise was a movie that I remember my dad letting me watch, and I was just like devastated for the longest time after watching this movie, because it was terrifying when I was a little kid. I need to rewatch it and see if it's still scary. I can't imagine it still is. I should rewatch it and see. The 5th and final movie that I'm gonna talk about is a movie that came out long before I was born, but it is a movie that my dad let me watch when I was still young. Because we love spoof movies and we love like scary movie and all that stuff, my dad's like, you need to watch the original scary movie. And the movie I'm talking about is Airplane, and that came out in 1980. My dog is like wandering around with this bone because he wants to bury it somewhere so bad. First off, Airplane was hilarious. I did not know that the president from Scary Movie 3 was in Airplane. Not that I knew anything about Airplane to begin with. My dad showed it to me and I had no clue this movie even existed, and that what's his face from Scary Movie 3 that played the president was like, this was like his type movies to be in. But anyway, I remember Airplane because I remember like 2 of the favorite scenes that like a lot of people like, but also that I like, was the one where the little white girl's talking to a little white boy. And he's like, how do you like your coffee? I like my coffee how I like my man, black.
Cream? No, thank you. I take it black. Like my man.
I mean, for a movie to come out in the 1980s where it's like we have totally different types of humor nowadays, I think so at least, it was funny. Airplane is a good movie. If you haven't watched it and you're into spoofs and you liked Kung Pao and you liked the scary movies, Airplane is a really good movie, regardless of how old it is. But that is a movie that my dad exposed me to when I was super young, and it was funny. I liked it. My dad loved it. That was probably what got him into spoofs and stuff like that, because that was like I said, that was our thing, watching spoof movies together. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you watched any of these movies, which ones were your favorite, which ones have you probably seen recently and you're like, I loved it as a kid but I don't really care for it now as an adult, or you watched it as a kid and you watch an adult and you're like, oh my gosh, this is so perverted. I get all these references now. That's me, honestly, with the scary movies, because I still watch those. Like, there's a lot of references now that I'm like older. I'm like, what? I want to thank my father for exposing me to these movies, because even now at 24 years old, I still love spoofs and I love scary movies, and these are my type films, and I'm able to quote them with my other immature friends. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, follow us on Instagram. We will see you all next time. Bye.